Hi, how you guys doing? This is Jared Schubert with Peak Performance Academy, helping business people, entrepreneurs, and just generally busy people maintain a healthy lifestyle on a fast-paced schedule so that they can build the body of their dreams, impact themselves, and impact others in a positive fashion. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is calories. What they are basically, how to determine how many calories per day that you need, and one surefire way to make sure that you're losing weight and body fat. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to mention that calories are a measure of heat. And actually, calories aren't calories. Calories are kilocalories or kcals in the health and fitness community. And what calories are basically energy that we're getting into our body in the form of carbohydrates, hydrogen, oxygen, and a bunch of other things. That's just what I went over is what the makeup for a carbohydrate is actually. That's why it's called a carbohydrate, because it has the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in it. Anyway, I got off on a tangent. So basically, we know what a calorie is. It's a measure of heat in our body, and if we have too much of that heat in a day, we're going to store fat ultimately. So, meaning if we're hypercaloric, meaning we're above the amount of calories that we need per day due to our resting metabolic rate and some other factors I'm going to mention soon, we're essentially going to be storing fat. Okay. Now, if we're hypocaloric, which hypo means under the calories of what we need per day to maintain our current body weight, we're going to lose weight. And this is a really simple concept, but a lot of people think that there are tips and tricks and fancy shit to losing weight, but it really comes down to, are we eating under the amount of what we need of our energy level to lose our current body weight, lose weight. So it's going to be super important that we eat hypocaloric to lose that body weight, and realize that no good exercise routine can do better than a clean diet and eating below the amount of what you need to maintain your current weight. So a lot of people then ask me, how do I find out how many calories per day that I need? How do I find out my resting metabolism? Well, there are formulas to do it, but the good news is you don't have to do that anymore, okay? There is technology out there for you guys to easily look up how much calories you need per day to maintain your current body weight, and how many calories a day that you need to lower your body weight or body fat, or gain weight, right? If some of you guys are hard gainers. So one source you can use is the app MyFitnessPal, okay? MyFitnessPal, very easy to use, okay? And it will tell you how many calories you need per day to lose whatever your goal is. You can put in your goal. Say if you want to lose 10 or 20 pounds, it's going to project what you would have to eat per day as far as calories and macronutrients, which I'm going to go over in a second, to lose your current body weight, to lose weight, right? Or maintain it, whatever your goal is, okay? There's other things like Calorie Calculator, all right? Online, a website that I like using that helps with the macronutrients a little bit and gives a more detailed breakdown is going to be muscularstrength.com/mealplan.php. And I'm going to include the links below, by the way, in the comments of this video, but those are just some sources. So really that's going to determine what calories you need per day due to your energy needs, your weight, your height, your age, and your activity level. These are all important things that determine what our needs are per day as far as calories, right? And it really takes the guesswork out of the equation, because we don't have to do all this detailed mathematical work anymore to figure this out, because the math is plugged into these online and application calculators. So let's move on. After we've determined how many calories per day that we need, it's important to figure out the macronutrient breakdown. Basically what macros are, there's three main macros, I should say. There's carbohydrates, proteins, and then there's fats. Carbohydrates are going to absorb the fastest into your bloodstream. And simple carbohydrates, such as sugars and stuff like that, are going to spike your insulin up the fastest. So your ability to store fat when we're taking in a lot of this is going to definitely be increased. And also your ability to get energy the fastest is going to be increased as well. That's why carbohydrates are still important. The next fastest way we can absorb energy in our body is through fats. Okay, fats break down into carbohydrates, which provide energy. And lastly, proteins are going to be the slowest absorbing, but proteins are the building blocks of muscle. So if you want to increase your resting metabolism, if you want to increase your metabolic rate, building more muscle is going to be crucial, and you need protein as a building block to go along with it, right? So according to a lot of medical bodies out there, for most people, okay, unless you're a very, very heavy weightlifter, most people should be taking in about 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per their body weight, okay? So for instance, if you're 180 pounds, you should be taking about 180 grams of protein, okay? And to figure out how many calories per day, it's quite simple. You're just going to multiply by 4, okay? And a lot of calculators do this for you, so you really don't have to do the guesswork, but let's find out. So it's going to be 720 calories, believe it or not. If you're 180 pounds and you're trying to get in your protein for the day, it's going to be, what did I say? 720, about 720 calories for your proteins, right? 180 grams of protein per day. If you're struggling to get that, as long as you're close to 0.8, you're okay as well. That's going to be normal for most people. For heavy weightlifters, it might be 1.5 to 1.8 times grams times their body weight, okay, if they're like you're a really serious lifter. But most of the time, that's just going to be too much. And honestly, your body's going to process it as a waste product. So it's not going to be very efficient. So we got calories, we got macros. Lastly, I want to explain 3 different things that determine basically our metabolism and how many calories that we burn on a daily basis. Okay, number 1 is your resting metabolic rate, which just basically means your metabolism, how many calories you burn in a resting state with no extra added exercise or motion. Okay, and this is determined by the factors that I mentioned: age, weight, height, and of course your pounds, how many you weigh. How much you weigh. I think I already mentioned that. Anyway, next is going to be the thermic effect of exercise. It's called TEF. I love going over these terms. Thermic effect of exercise is going to determine as well your metabolism. I'm sorry, not thermic effect of exercise. God, I'm sounding like an idiot. Thermic effect of food. TEF. TEF. Thermic effect of food is going to be basically when you're eating, okay? Believe it or not, every time you chew on something, you burn calories. Now, whether or not you burn a lot of calories or not depends on your frequency of eating and, of course, your metabolic rate in general, right? So the thermic effect of food, not exercise. I don't know what I was thinking. TEF. You're going to burn some extra calories by eating as well. So that's why a lot of bodies out there say eat small meals throughout the day. Okay, so most of the time that's what you want to be doing. However, there are powerful benefits of doing intermittent fasting as well and carb cycling, but that's a whole different story. I can cover that on another video. And lastly, obviously your activity level and your lean muscle mass are going to be the other factors that determine what your metabolism is like, right? If you're a very inactive person, your metabolism might be much slower, right? If you have 50% body fat, obviously you're going to be storing more fat. It's going to be harder to lose, to be in shape. It's going to be harder to shed that weight. Okay. And if you do, some of that initially might be water weight. Okay. If you are 10% body fat, you're going to have a very fast metabolism. Okay. You're not going to store fat as fast. It's going to be much harder to get in poor shape unless you're constantly eating unhealthy shit and you're hypercaloric all the time. So anyway, I didn't want to make this too long, but of course it's over 10 minutes already. So I'm going to cut to the chase here and kind of summarize. So what I went over today in this video was calories, what they were, what they are, what strategies we want to take to be hypocaloric, right? What macronutrients are, and lastly, I went over the different factors that determine how fast or how slow our metabolism is. So if you guys have any questions, please comment below, or anything that you're struggling with, anything at all, comment below, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of this. You guys have an awesome day, an awesome night. Get strong. Peace out.